The world awoke to a quiet shock. China and Taiwan had announced a historic agreement. After decades of tension, both sides agreed to a cross-strait coexistence and cooperation. Framework. For a moment, the world paused. The Taiwan Strait, once a flashpoint, was suddenly the site of unexpected peace. The agreement set aside sovereignty, focusing on demilitarizing the strait and building economic and cultural ties. In capitals worldwide, the news landed like an earthquake. The world had changed overnight. To grasp the magnitude of this agreement, we must revisit the past. The China-Taiwan story began in 1949, when the Chinese Civil War ended with the Communists victorious on the mainland and the Nationalists retreating to Taiwan. Both sides claimed to be the legitimate government of all China. The world was forced to choose. Initially, most recognized Taiwan, but by the 1970s, global recognition shifted to Beijing. The US switched recognition, but passed the Taiwan Relations Act, promising to help Taiwan defend itself, creating decades of strategic ambiguity. Meanwhile, Taiwan transformed from dictatorship to vibrant democracy, forging a unique identity. This new Taiwanese identity clashed with Beijing's insistence on one China. China's growing power brought military drills and economic pressure, while Taiwan resisted unification, especially after witnessing Hong Kong's fate. The standoff became increasingly dangerous, with both sides arming and the world watching nervously. From this precipice, today's peace agreement has emerged. The agreement is not just a diplomatic breakthrough. It's a pause in a conflict that shaped the region for generations. The world now faces a new chapter, but the roots of tension run deep. The question remains, can decades of mistrust be overcome? Only time will tell. The cross-strait coexistence and cooperation framework is a study in diplomatic compromise. It avoids the sovereignty issue, focusing instead on three pillars: military de-escalation, economic integration, and cultural exchange. Both sides will withdraw offensive forces from the strait, reduce patrols, and establish a no-fly zone. A joint crisis management center will prevent accidental escalation. The core bargain. Beijing renounces force. Taipei agrees not to declare independence. Economically, a cross-strait common market will eliminate most trade barriers and formalize economic ties. Taiwan gains access to select international organizations, and a joint tech development fund is created. Culturally, travel and exchanges will expand, and a joint council will promote shared history while respecting Taiwan's identity. Direct communication links are restored. The goal to replace suspicion with connection and transform the strait from a front line to a bridge. It's not a final settlement, but a foundation for peace. The next 50 years will test its strength. The world is watching. Why did Beijing, seemingly in a position of strength, agree to peace now? China faces slowing economic growth, a demographic crisis, and internal pressures. War over Taiwan would devastate China's economy and risk international isolation. Even a victory could leave China weakened and encircled by wary neighbors. The leadership saw that peace offered a path to long-term goals, unification through integration, not force. China's aggressive tactics had backfired, pushing regional powers closer to the US and fueling new security alliances. This agreement recasts China as a peacemaker, easing tensions and pressuring the US to adapt. For Xi Jinping, it's a legacy move, securing China's interests without war, and keeping Taiwan from formal independence for 50 years. It's a calculated gamble, betting that integration will achieve what force could not. China chose a possible peaceful triumph over certain catastrophe. The world will judge whether this gamble pays off. For now, China has changed the game. The future is uncertain, but the threat of war has receded. For Taiwan, the agreement is a leap of faith, a bet on peace over perpetual fear. Facing a shifting military balance and the sobering lessons of Ukraine, Taipei saw the limits of relying on outside help. The deal trades ambiguous US promises for a concrete non-aggression pledge from Beijing. For 24 million Taiwanese, it means relief from daily anxiety and a chance at normalcy. Economically, the agreement opens doors long closed by diplomatic isolation, promising growth and new opportunities. There are risks. Deeper integration could increase Beijing's leverage, but also Taiwan's. The architects believe that economic ties will make conflict less likely and give Taiwan more influence. The hope is that openness will strengthen, not erode, Taiwan's democracy and identity. Critics fear a slippery slope to unification, but leaders believe peace offers the best chance for survival. Taiwan is betting that 50 years of peace will secure its future. The world will watch to see if this gamble pays off. For now, the island has chosen hope over fear. The path ahead is uncertain, but it is a path away from war. The agreement sent shockwaves through global capitals. In Washington, relief at avoiding war mixed with anxiety over diminished influence. The U.S. must now rethink its strategy, shifting from military deterrence to diplomatic balancing. Japan, Taiwan's neighbor, welcomes reduced tensions, but worries about China's growing influence. The deal may accelerate Japan's military modernization and new security partnerships. The EU hails the agreement as a diplomatic victory, while developing nations breathe a sigh of relief. Southeast Asian countries hope for a more moderate China, but fear Beijing may now focus on other disputes. The world order is shifting. Regional actors are charting their own course, forcing the US and its allies to adapt. The agreement is a model for peaceful conflict resolution, but also a test for global alliances. The next moves by Washington, Tokyo, and Beijing will shape the region's future. The world is watching, and the stakes are high. The diplomatic scramble has only just begun. The agreement is a beginning, not an end. Three futures now emerge. First, the optimistic path real peace, with military pullbacks, flourishing ties, and the sovereignty question deferred. Second, stagnation. The deal becomes hollow, old suspicions return, and stability is cold but fragile. Third, tense coexistence. War is avoided, but deep trust never forms, and competition shifts to economics and influence. Which future prevails depends on political will, outside powers, and the daily choices of ordinary people. The next chapter will be written by leaders and citizens alike. The world must nurture this fragile peace. The risk of backsliding is real. The hope is that the strait becomes a bridge, not a battlefield. The outcome is uncertain, but the opportunity is historic. The world is watching closely. The future of the Taiwan Strait, and perhaps the world, hangs in the balance. The story is far from over. The agreement's impact extends far beyond East Asia. The risk of war in the Taiwan Strait had threatened global markets and supply chains. Its removal unlocks new business confidence and investment. Taiwan's semiconductor industry, vital to the world, is now more secure. Joint tech development raises new questions for the US-China tech rivalry. Diplomatically, the deal scrambles the old US-China bipolar order. Middle powers may now pursue more independent foreign policies. Alliances like NATO, the Quad, and AUKUS must adapt to a new reality. The US and China may find new space for cooperation, but competition will shift to economics and ideology. The contest for global influence will intensify. The agreement didn't end great power rivalry. It changed the rules. The world must adapt to a new era of uncertainty and opportunity. The ripple effects are just beginning. The world celebrates a historic moment, but the hardest work lies ahead. The agreement is a blueprint, not a cure-all. Decades of mistrust and division won't vanish overnight. Lasting peace will require political will, transparency, and shared benefits. Both sides must prove their commitment through real actions. The international community, especially the US, must support, not sabotage the process. Trust must be built not just by governments, but by ordinary people reconnecting across the strait. The door to peace is open, but it can close just as quickly. The world has been given a rare chance. It's up to all of us to ensure it's not wasted. The first step has been taken. The journey will be long and uncertain. The hope for peace now belongs to everyone.